Passion, technique, and creativity. These are some of the core values of FC Barcha.
Spain's FC Barcha is a team that scores goals through self-expression, improvisation, and rhythm. It is not enough for goals to be simply scored, but players must be able to freely express themselves on the field and excite the audience.
FC Barcha is known to be one of the best teams in Europe, and it is home to one of the best strikers in the world, Lavinho.
During the NEL, FC Barcha serves as the Spain Stratum team, and Lavinho serves as the master striker/coach. At first glance, you can see why he's the master striker of FC Barcha. He is the living proof of their football philosophy.
Yes, at first glance, Lavinho seems like the perfect candidate to be FC Barcha's master striker. Coming to Blue Lock, Lavinho seemed very happy to be the Spain coach, but there was an issue with this. As a person, Lavinho does not care about teaching the players of the Spain Stratum directly. He'd rather explain his point of view and let players freely interpretate his words for their own inspiration. So Spain Stratum is a very unorthodox and unorganized compared to the other stratums. Lavinho creates a very lackadaisical teaching style, whereas players aren't fully learning or fully developing to their proper levels. And although Spain is very unorthodox and bizarre, one player has risen and excelled under these conditions.
The main striker and center of FC Barcha's NEL team, Meguru Bachira. Honestly, they should rename the team from FC Barcha to FC Bachira.
Thanks to Bachira, FC Barcha has been able to score and make an impression on the NEL. He's been learning under Lavinho, and he's been able to create a much more potent style. Bachira is the heart of FC Barcha. This team should be called FC Barcha. Bachira is the main focus of this team, and the only other player who's been having an impact has been Otoya, who plays as a winger for FC Barcha, and Otoya has been playing as Bachira's shadow. He supports Bachira's movements and gets himself in the best position to use one-touch passes to create chances for Bachira to score goals. And this combo has become the core of FC Barcha's attack. Thanks to this formula, Bachira has become the ace of FC Barcha.
Bachira has been excelling for FC Barcha, but unfortunately, that cannot be said for the rest of the team. Besides Otoya, who acts as Bachira's shadow, no one else has been able to stand out or make a contribution for FC Barcha in NEL.
Yeah, it's a harsh reality, but FC Barcha is one of the most disappointing teams in the NEL, and I don't fully blame the players. Lavinho isn't the greatest master striker and coach. We see that only Bachira is scoring, and at this moment, we're assuming only Otoya is able to assert and adapt with Bachira. Thanks to Lavinho's lackadaisical training style, the team hasn't really been able to expand past this. And to back up this reasoning, let's talk about the first two NEL matches for FC Barcha.
We'll start with FC Barcha versus Bayern Munchen. Now, FC Barcha kicked off the NEL by losing to the Bayern Munchen team, which has been their closest game so far with a score of 2-3. Let's talk about how they were able to achieve those goals. Bachira and Otoya were able to do an impressive link-up, which resulted in Bachira being able to make the first goal of the match with his B shot.
At this moment, I think a lot of us were impressed with FC Barcha, but unfortunately, no one else was able to stand out in this match. For the second goal, it was Lavinho who was able to stand out.
That's right, he was able to add another score to the board in a very stylish manner. This is where we saw that Isagi planned to double team him with Noah, and that quickly backfired.
In that moment, Isagi was trying to be effective just joining the match, but Lavinho used him as a dribbling cone instead. He basically just used him as a wall and got right past him and Noah. He then weaves through the Bayern Munchen defenders. He even set the goalie flying. This was an ultimate abuse of power and so disrespectful. To add a little flair to it, Lavinho even does this little back heel kick into the goal, just making everyone bow down to him, make him seem like the king.
I mean, what an absolute massive way to make a statement. This, however, wasn't enough, as Noah and Kunigami were able to make the final remaining goals to end the match.
From this one match, we got to see that it was more or less just Bachira being the heart of FC Barcha. The only other people that gave him options and were shown to be effective were Lavinho and Otoya. And after this match, we can see that FC Barcha as a whole is pretty lackluster. Besides Bachira, Lavinho, and Otoya, no one else is really becoming an attacking threat.
And this, of course, gets exposed in their match against the Ubers.
That match was not close at all. That match ended 3-1 with Barro scoring a hat-trick on Barcha. I think a lot of us were really taken back by this because we thought FC Barcha would be able to put up a fight against a lot of these teams, but we see that they don't hold a candle to a lot of these other teams. Ubers were able to completely run through them and dominate them by only letting Bachira score one goal, and then basically after that it was a complete shutout.
Yeah, at this point, it became very evident that Bachira was the only player keeping this team somewhat competitive. And we don't know for sure if Lavinho even participated in this match or if Ubers completely shut him out. Regardless, Bachira needs some serious help out there if this team wants to secure a win for themselves.
I couldn't agree more. Bachira has a lot of work cut out for him. He needs a lot of help, especially since they're going against Rin and PXG in their third match. This team is not doing well overall. Bachira and Otoya are probably carrying the team by themselves, and it really is just FC Bachira out there. Hopefully they can get a win, but I definitely don't see them winning against Rin and PXG.
Now that you mentioned that, let's talk about some of the possibilities for their next NEL matches. The first one being FC Bachira versus PXG.
Before we start this matchup, let's be real. We know new players like Dada and Hayate from the U20 team entered FC Barcha and they just started playing, but they're not doing shit against new Awakened Rin and PXG. No way in hell they're doing anything against these guys.
Oh, there isn't a chance in hell. And anyways, Kenichiro already hinted that PXG versus Bayern Munchen will be a battle of undefeated teams. And either way, I would still say that they're not gonna do shit to Rin and PXG. Those guys are just training cones to Rin.
Yeah, Rin probably just sees those guys as little obstacles to go around. We saw Rin destroy those guys at the end of the U20 match. All respect for these characters, they're still just not stopping Rin. And they're definitely not stopping Shido if Shido gets to play. On paper, PXG is the overall better team.
Agreed. The only matchup that has any importance really is Bachira versus Rin. Bachira is the only one who could even attempt to challenge Rin. I don't think anyone else on that team has the capabilities to go against Rin in a 1v1 situation.
You're completely right. FC Barcha is going to have to pin multiple players on Rin, or else he's just going to be able to run around and do whatever he wants. Rin is the biggest threat, so I can see multiple players just trying to have to stack up on him because there's no way those no-name Bonder players are going to be able to stop Rin.
Now, another fun potential matchup could be Otia versus Karase. We know that these two former friends tore up the second selection together, and they are now rivals in the NEL.
I'm interested to see how these two will play against each other. We know they've played together for so long, so maybe Otia can use some of his knowledge of Karasu, and maybe Otia can actually help out FC Barcha in the sense of helping out the midfield and going against Karasu. It's a tough call, but maybe Otia can help out a little bit.
Yeah, but I think PXG as a whole would still have the advantage. They still have players like Shoppies and Tetsu, Tokimitsu, and Nanase to help Rin make these huge plays.
Yeah, you are right. Overall, PXG is just too stacked. Plus, the foreshadowing from Kaneshiro hinting that PXG and Bastard MUNCHEN will be a battle of undefeated teams. I really can't see PXG losing. But as a final result, I believe PXG is going to win against FC Barcha, and it's just going to be another case of domination. It's probably going to be like a 3-1 win for PXG. This is very much FC Bachira, so if anyone's going to score a goal, it's Bachira. And I could see Rin either getting 2 goals. Part of me wants to see Shido get 1 goal, but either way, PXG is just going to dominate FC Barcha.
And of course, the final match, FC Bachira versus MANSHINE City, the potential battle of the losers.
If you saw our Man City vs Ubers video, you know that we think Ubers will defeat MANSHINE City, but we do think that matchup will give the ultimate motivation for a complete all-out war for someone to get one first win in the NEL.
The most interesting matchup, obviously, for this would be Bachira versus Nagi. This will be the main matchup for this match.
I'm interested to see if Nagi does find himself in that Ubers match, because I think for MANSHINE City to beat FC Barcha, Nagi's going to need an evolution either prior to that match or during that match to help beat Barcha.
I also do believe Bachira's offensive capabilities would probably be too much for Nagi to guard against. Plus, if Bachira loses against PXG, which we do believe will happen, I believe he will go all out on this match and try even harder to secure the team's first win.
Yeah, I can see Bachira entering like a new depths of despair again, kind of like how he did in the first selection against Nagi and Rayo's team. Maybe he just feels like, oh, I gotta go super special again, and then he just creates all these insane plays and scores like a hat trick. That would be insane from Bachira. If he does that, I give him a round of applause and he would deserve all the credit in the world. But it'd be hard to see that right now because FC Barcha is not looking like a good enough team to support him.
Unfortunately so, that does seem to be the case.
And then you have the case for MANSHINE City where Nagi still has players like Rayo, Agi, and Chigiri who can still pull out plays and do their own to help the team win. Chigiri alone is such a great asset that someone on FC Barcha can't compete against. So I hope we get to see MANSHINE City versus FC Barcha because I'd be very interested to see who can win and get that last win in the NEL as well.
Let's talk about score predictions. I think we're going to see this at 3-2, with MANSHINE winning this.
If MANSHINE do win this, I would love to see a complete team evolution. Something where all the core players score, like Nagi, Rayo, and Chigiri all work together and score a goal and win as a team. That'd be great for Chigiri, Nagi, and Rayo. Then I do see Barcha not winning. I think they don't have it in them to compete against a team like MANSHINE City. FC Barcha as a whole, they're just not it. I think Bachira could score a goal and maybe Otea surprises everyone and scores a goal for himself. Maybe that will help him give an edge so he can get back in the top 23 and stay there. But either way, I just don't see FC Barcha winning a game in the NEL.
Bottom line is, FC Barcha will probably lose all their NEL matches. From the beginning, it was a complete mess. They had a coach in Lavinho who just did not want to properly teach them, so I can't completely blame the FC Barcha players.
Yeah, the Spain Stratum had no real structure or organization for these players. It was more of a fend for yourself and learn for yourself under Lavinho, so I can't blame these players for having such lackluster results. This type of environment can only work for a select few type of players. Not every type of player can thrive through the situation, and thankfully Bachira went to Spain because he's the only type of player that could actually accept this environment and learn from it, which we did see. He was able to grow and mature and become a better player, so for the sake of Bachira, FC Barcha was a success, but overall it was a bust. lost in the sense of the NEL and wins and everything.
It's a real shame because you have some real talent in Bachira there who honestly is the only thing that's really keeping this team competitive. I guess we'll have to see how these next matches play out. Again, I don't see them winning these, but Bachira is definitely going to evolve in these matches and he's going to continue to grow regardless.
Yes, and as a final statement, I believe at the end of the NEL, only 2 players will move forward from the FC Barcha camp. I believe Otea and Bachira will be the only players to move forward to the top 23 players and play for the Japan U20 team. But let us know what you guys think about the rankings, FC Barcha as a whole, and what did you think about this video? If you stuck to the end, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our Discord. We have a link in our description that you can go check out and join our Discord. We can have more open conversations and talk about Blue Lock and other topics.
Definitely don't be afraid to join the Discord. We're in there and we're always willing to talk.
If that interests you, don't forget to click the link. Again, thank you for sticking by to the end. This is Tevin.
This is Lotus.
Peace.
Catch you in the next one.